Hey coaches, this is Nick Davis, defensive coordinator at Rose Hulman Institute of Technology. I wanted to show you a little bit about our pressure plan. In the article on xnolabs.com, I go more in depth on how we practice our plan in each of our practices, but I'd like to show you a little bit about how we like to rush, what we think about when we rush. So our first play here, everything for us starts from a 3-down front. We want to be able to rush from a 3-down front, a 4-down front, a 5-down front, and a 6-down front. From those 4 different fronts, we want to bring a variety of rushers, 3, 4, 5, 6. We want to present all these to an opponent each game, and we want to see how they protect. So we have kind of our base things that we like to do, and then we have our counters off of them. So here's our first one. We are in a 3-down front, a 5-0-5, and we are just in a 3-man rush here. It's 2nd and 10. Now, we teach our guys, that are C-gap players, that there's really no contain rush here at Rose Hulman. We teach them about protections, and we teach them to get home. If you're going to take your chance and go underneath, that's fine, because we're going to have linebackers with vision on the quarterback. For us, all right, if one of our C-gap rushers go underneath to the B-gap and the quarterback escapes and scrambles for 16 yards, it is on our linebackers, because we'll have at least 1 or 2 linebackers with vision on the quarterback the whole entire time in terms of a pass. So, right here, we get a little bit overset. Mike Riley, who led the nation in sacks, gives a club and an arm over, or stab arm over. And with our 3-man rush, we get 2 one-on-ones. That's a common theme that we have. We even keep the tailback in a 3-man rush. So there you got 6 to block our 3. So then we build that upon our 4-man rush. Here we're in a slightly different front. We'll be in several fronts in terms of 3 down. Here we're head up all the way across the board, a 4, a 0, and a 4. We are going to bring our stack linebacker to the tailback. Now we try to figure out which side is the man and the zone side. We'll look at percentages. This team is a big man side is their tailback side. They do a little bit of it. They don't do a ton of the cross man protection. So we have a pretty good thought here on 1st and 10 if it's a pass that this is going to be the man side. Now us being odd, some teams block us a little differently. Some, I think we might mess with their 4-down rules, that they will keep their tailback and release him when we bring our 4th rusher, and have their guard dual read our linebackers here and block them. Some teams, all right, have their guards step down and become part of the zone side and let their tailback pick up our stack rusher. So early in the game, we want to figure out what that team is doing. Are they just releasing their tailback out, or are they keeping them in? So we're going to rush. Our D-ends become C-gap rushers. Our nose guard works opposite of what our stack guy comes, and our stack guy is coming in the B-gap. His target is that guard's shoulder. Ball snapped, he's targeting. Right now, looks like he's one-on-one with the tailback. Again, this guard has nothing to do over here, so he goes to help out. So when Nate comes to the sideline, I ask him, hey, were you one-on-one with the tailback? No, coach, the guard came over. Okay, we might have something for them later in terms of that. So we get still a one-on-one over here and a one-on-one on this edge. Matt Mahalik, his club rips, all right, and comes across there for the sack. Our nose guard works opposite. He's working in that protection, and we got some pressure. So our counter off of this is our linebacker comes over and he tells us that he is getting double teamed, all right, from the tailback and the guard. Now this was a pistol team they had a big tendency on which side was the man protection based off of where he went. So we checked our linebackers on which linebacker was going based on to what side he went to really quick. So you can see now Kalen, these guys are all pretty patient. He checks over here to the boundary, and our boundary line stack linebacker is getting ready to come. So we have a C-gap rusher on both sides. Our linebacker is going to work to the B-gap, and we will get our nose guard, all right, to work to the linebacker rush side. Yes, this is an unbalanced rush, but we're taking a big gamble that we know we're going to get the man side here. So he is going to eat up the guard, and we're going to get a one-on-one out here on the tailback and with our defensive end over here to the field. Kalen rushes, just like we expected, the guard to take the nose. We got a one-on-one, one-on-one, one-on-one right here. That's pretty tough for a tailback that's not going to cut a linebacker from that depth. So now, all right, what we have off of that is a game. So like being in a 4-down front and running some different stunts, well, now we're doing that here. First of all, we feel pretty good that this is going to be the man protection side based on film study. Our nose guard is going to work opposite. Our field defensive end is going to rush upfield. Kalen, our boundary linebacker, is going to rush the B gap like he normally would. And we are going to get Mike Riley, our boundary defensive end, to work upfield. And then when he sees Kalen pass him, flash color we say, all right, he's going to work underneath, all right, to the quarterback. So there's Kalen rushing. Mike selling vertical. Now I'd like to get him probably one more step up vertical to the field to really sell this. All right, we targeted the man side here. They're a big team that they were going to let their O-line handle us, which is fine. So their tailback gets out on the route. And then Mike comes underneath. So Kalen's vertical upfield. Mike's right off his butt. We get a nice vertical rush over here to keep the quarterback in the pocket. And we get another sack right there. All right, so when you don't know what side the man protection is going to be on, all right, we'll send a fifth rusher. So we'll have two C-gap rushers. All right, we're going to bring our Mike linebacker and our Bob linebacker to the B gaps, and then we are going to have our nose, all right, work opposite, all right, of the first letter of the call. This happens to be Moby, which means the Mike and the Bob are coming. Tells the nose to go opposite of the Mike. Our Will linebacker is in man coverage with his tailback. We have two different versions of 5-man pressure, man-free coverage. If he blocks, one version he'll add on. If he blocks, the other version is he's a low hole player. So again, we weren't sure because they were a team that would be man side to the tailback or man opposite the tailback. So we weren't sure what these guys were going to do, so we're going to bring both and ensure that we get at least one guy to the man side, and then we're going to cover everyone across the board. So here's the rush. So essentially we have 3 one-on-ones over here. We got a one-on-one over there. And you get what we've seen, the double team on the linebacker. Brandon sees this guy blocks, and he adds on. Too late for the guard to come out and help. In fact, our linebacker kind of helps us out by pushing him away, and we get a sack. So we weren't sure what the man side was going to be. Blitz both sides. We'll figure it out. Cover the tailback. If he goes out on a route, he doesn't. Add on. And there we go. So now we want to show you a little bit of our form down front. So here we're in a 5, a 3, a 3, and a 5. One of our base 4 down front looks with one of our linebackers walked up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get in the front and we're just going to rush. No movement at all. So as you can see here, we're going to get one-on-one, another one-on-one, and another one-on-one matchup here. Everything we do is trying to get one-on-one matchups. The center lets off, so we end up getting 4 one-on-one matchups in this front. Kyle does a nice job of humping them by and getting the sack there. Get a nice edge rush from the boundary. So the next thing we want to do is we want to be in a 4 down front, still rushing 4 rushers and having some movement. This side over here is going to be the what we anticipate the zone side for this situation, 3rd and 6. This team had a tendency that this might be their man side. So we wanted to work a stunt over to their man side and to the zone side, just rush. So we're thinking we got one on matchup, and we're going to have another, all right, 2-on-1, 2-on-2 matchup over here. So just like you saw earlier with the stunt from our stack, where our stack linebacker came to the B gap and our edge rusher crossed, this is going to be the opposite. Now our nose guard is going to, you're going to see him chop, all right, and then we teach him the rip up on all of our stunts because we want to get that hand down of the guard. A lot of times in our league you see this guard throw the 3 technique or the 2-eye out to the tackle to give that tackle some time. So ball is snapped, and you see this chop getting rid of 79's hands. All right, we tell our edge rusher to get vertical up the field. Now he's not selling it as much as we would like. We want him to get vertically up the field. All right, sell. Get these guys on different planes. All right, so Tyler Stewart, our nose guard, chops. All right, and then we tell him to post on that tackle. Again, I don't want to work out to the C gap. I am not huge into you have to get in the C gap and contain the rusher. All these O-line coaches teach, they're going to get in the C gap. All right, we just want to get home. We want to win. And again, if the quarterback gets out of the pocket here, it is on my linebackers, all right, to make sure that he's getting rid of the ball, all right, or not gaining yards. So Tyler, chop, all right, he's getting ready to rip, and he has stabbed this tackle. We get some miscommunication. Now, Kalen was one of our better rushers in the league, so we end up getting 3 guys on Kalen, and our nose guard comes free here. Ends up there with the sack. To the zone side, we're getting double team. He's working back across because he knows that's where the opening is going to be. And then a decent edge rush from the other side. So we take our 4 down front, and we take a stunt, and now we're going to bring some linebackers. So this is a 6-man pressure. All right, we're going to stunt our 2-eye techniques to the B gap, edge rushers, and then we are going to cross blitz our linebackers. All right, I'm not a huge 6-man pressure guy, all right, but there's times and places. This was a 4th and 7, so we wanted to bring this pressure here. So we feel that the stunt of these 2 players is going to open up this hole nice for our linebackers. So we get a 1-on-1 across the board, all over the place. Now we'll teach our linebackers, you necessarily don't have to hit holes. I think Nate feels like he's got a nice hole over here, but we can teach him to stab and rip, and we get the, let that center go over to the space and club him by. All right, he necessarily doesn't have to cross his face here, but I feel like Nate feels like he's got some space. Now this is bad on our linebacker. He's getting cut by the tailback here. but pretty good with all of our rushers. This is our nose guard, cross and face, just ripping, violent rip. Really emphasize the violent rip, and he makes the quarterback get rid of the ball, and we get a hit on the QB there on 4th and 7, and we're off the field. So now I want to take a look at some of our 5-down fronts. So here's a bear front for us. All right, we're in a 5, a 3 technique with one of our linebackers, a 0, a 3, and a 5. We're in a bear front. We will do this with our linebackers as 5 techniques and our linebackers as 3 techniques. We want to see if that affects you any way. As an O-line guy or offensive coordinator, are you going to protect this front the same as if we had a stand-up linebacker on the outside here? All right, so we want to use both of those fronts. We'll even have a front where we have a 3 technique linebacker and a 5 technique linebacker. Does that affect the way you protect? All right. So we're thinking that we're going to get 5 one-on-ones across the board. So we get an RPO, which gives this guy a free run. All right. So their RPO protection. I think the O-line knows maybe it's just play action. All right. But for us, it's an RPO because we see the action. We got the guys running routes. We're going to cover people that are running routes. Working around the edge here. We did a nice job of disrupting the throw. We end up with our 2-5 techniques on the sack there. All right. So we also have a code word, all right, where we will start off in a 3-down front and shift into our bear front. So here is the opposite of what we had last time, our 5 techniques, our linebackers. All right, we think we're getting one-on-one matchups. We get sprint out. So we got guys fighting hard across, and we get our linebacker that's man-to-man on the tailback, adds in, misses, and then we got a bunch of guys rallying from behind to help finish up on this. We like our bear front down in the red zone. That's how we handle sprint out, is this linebacker is going to feel out the situation. He feels like the guy is lost contain. All right, he's going to go get him again. We teach, win. You can win, go do it. You got to win. All right, and your linebacker is going to, save you. He's going to help you out. Our linebacker's there, missed the tackle, but we finish on the pursuit. So one of the last things we do out of our 5-man front that we like is we're down in our 5-man front, and we're going to bring 4 rushers now. And we are going to stunt. So we're going to drop our nose guard right here. All right, and we're playing our base coverage. We are going to rush upfield, chop and rip, all right, and then sell vertical, and then come underneath. So this is pretty nice. He's going to step to the center, by that center. Now we have 4 one-on-ones. He's going to drop and be the low hole player. Our linebacker is now covering the tailback in one-on-one coverage. So we have rushed 4. We have 4 one-on-ones. And we have the center out here doing nothing, helping the guys out. Violent upfield by our edge rusher. Out here selling it. Getting these guys on different planes. Not as great over here. You can see a good post by our 3 technique. And the quarterback's getting rid of the ball there on 3rd and 9. Feeling that pressure. Everything's covered. So the next thing we want to do is present a 6-man rush. All right. So we're in a 6-down front. All Alright, and we're going to bring all these guys. We're playing zero coverage across the board. So how are they going to block us? Some teams, alright, will full slide. Some teams, the man protection side will be here, and he'll pick up the B gap or the A gap linebacker. Alright, this team decides to cross block over here to the B gap. So they get their zone sides over here. Alright, their man sides across, which this is a tough block. You get a one-on-one with a linebacker right in the quarterback's lap. And we also get held over here. So now we want to present that same front. We call it apple, telling the linebackers to get in the A gap. Alright, we present that same front, and we're going to drop these guys out. Alright, hoping that we're going to buy potentially a full slide and buy a tailback and get 6 rushers or 6 blockers for our 4 rushers. They free release, but we also kind of get what we want is 4 one-on-ones. Again, this isn't a design stunt, but we teach this kid about protections. He oversets you, come underneath. And they turn it into a natural stunt. He feels him go underneath, and he comes outside. He goes to help his buddy because he's got nothing to do, and it opens up this huge gap for Mike Riley to get the sack. So this is the same team as the year before, all right, and they changed their protection a little bit. So this is why we kind of carry some different stuff into games. So again, same team as you just saw. Now we're in our banana front, telling our linebackers to get in the B gap. All right, and we're going to drop these guys out. So we drop the guys out. Here we get the full slide. So they slide, 6-man slide protection. We get our one-on-one with the guy that led the nation in sacks versus the tailback, which we want. We get a one-on-one over here, a one-on-one, and a one-on-one. So we have 4 one-on-ones. We waste their tackle, and we get 2 extra guys in coverage here. Defeat the block. Now, in this coverage, the linebacker owns the tailback. If the tailback blocks, he adds on. So we end up getting a 5th rusher, all right, from our 4-man intended rush. We'll have different versions of a 4-man rush, where if the tailback, blocks, he'll stay in coverage. If the tailback blocks, he'll add on to the rush. All right, so now we got our B-gap linebackers, and we're going to run a stunt. These guys are going to drop out. We're going to get 1 quick step upfield, and then underneath, these guys will take a step. Once they feel their guy is crossed, work outside. Tailback releases, so our linebacker goes to guard him. You see the 1 quick step. All right, now we have a one-on-one over here. Guys coming around the horn. We get the intentional grounding here on a big 3rd and 12 with a minus 24-yard loss play here. We're just playing our base coverage on 1st down. We're playing man free with a low hole player, which there are, if you watch the wide of this play, there's receivers open. Our linebacker does a nice job of getting in those windows. We do a nice job there. So one of our new things we added this season was now a 6-down front, and we called it a field overload. We got this from Don Brown in Michigan. They did this a bunch against Penn State the year before. But we are going to rush this guy vertical up the field. We have a 5, a wide 5, a 3 technique, 2 linebackers walked up, and a 5 technique over here. He's going to loop underneath. We get an edge rusher. All right. Here we're just bringing a 4-man rush, but we could add these guys into a 6-man rush. They're going to drop out and do their coverage. We'll have an edge rush over here. So we get full slide. So we like this because we're going to get a one-on-one over here and a one-on-one here with our best 2 pass rushers. Kalen's violent upfield, dipping and ripping, bringing that rip back to the quarterback, getting that toe, all right, back to the quarterback's path. Mike, just a club and a rip. We're able to get the strip sack here. This isn't great for the slide, but we got a chance with Josh coming around here. He's got to be a little tighter, so 77 can't react. If he's tighter, coming right here, right now, maybe 77 doesn't have a chance to get to us. We're in our coverage where we don't care if the tailback blocks. We're just going to stay on our coverage. But if Zach, we were playing our coverage where he'd add on, Zach sees the tailback, and Zach's going to add on right here, which would be a pretty good look as well. So now we are in our front we call orange, all right, telling our linebackers to get outside. So we're a wide 5, a 5, all right, a 2-eye, a 2-eye, a 5, and a wide 5. We're going to get a stunt here, all right. They are targeting to pick the center. These guys are working vertical upfield, and we are going to drop these guys in coverage. We get the full slide, so we get the one-on-ones like we wanted. Tailback goes the cut, our edge rusher, and we actually do a nice job here on the pick stunt. He goes to pick for his buddy. Post, as you can see, all right, this is important. He gets his right arm on that shoulder, lifts him up. He's got a free run on the quarterback. All right, it's 3rd and 10. Incomplete pass, and we got a shot on the quarterback. All right, our last clip here. So this was a different version of our orange from the year before. We have a 5 technique. All right, we have 4-eye, 2-eye, 2-eye, 4-eye, 5 technique. And we are going to drop these guys out. It's 4th and 12. We're going to drop these guys out. Just rush. Wait, you don't have a C-gap defender. We don't need one, all right? Here we get the one-on-one with the tailback. We buy both tackles, all right? Now he goes back and helps his buddy really quick, but he's in no man's land. Can't help his buddy out. So we're one-on-one, 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 one-on-one. And get a pretty easy sack there on 4th and 11 to get off the field. So as you can see, we do a variety of different things from multiple fronts. Everything we do, there's kind of a counter, all right, and a reason for why we do it. We want to present a lot of different multiple looks in terms of having 6 guys on the line of scrimmage, and we might only rush 2 or 3 or 4, or rush 6 of them, or just 5 of them. Do some different things. Always have that counter, have that backup plan, have things to build off your rush package. If you just have one really good thing and you don't have the counter to that play, I don't think you can be very successful. But I think it all starts practicing. We practice all these stunts multiple times every week. So we get in the game and we've seen almost every different protection they might see, so our guys know how to beat those protections. If you have any questions, you can email me at davis5@rosehulman.edu. I'd love to, chat with you about what we like to do to get some pressure on the quarterback.